All right, Kyle, thanks so much for joining me today. Looking forward to talking with you about this exciting search and Pinewood. What a just wonderful school and community. And I had the pleasure of going there earlier this month, talking with lots of folks and bringing our team on site. Before we get there, let's talk a bit about your background and your role and your positions as an educator.
Yeah, awesome. It was great having you guys. Just a little bit about me. Pinewood has, been a really it's had deep roots in my family for quite some time. So my grandparents were the ones who actually founded the school back in the 50s. And so I've had, that Pinewood blood in me for quite some time. I went to school here, kindergarten through 12th grade. And I just knew kind of early on, I always wanted to end up here. I loved Pinewood and what it did for me, what I saw it do for my friends, just how it kind of transformed who I am as a person, as an educator. And so I've just always wanted to bring back those same values and things and, hopefully instill all of that into our current students and other faculty members. And so I've been here for about 8 or 9 years now in a variety of different roles, but I'm currently the associate head of school here. And I will be overseeing this new role that we're looking to hire.
Wonderful. And let's talk a bit. You sort of touched upon the community and the impact of the school. I'd like to just drill into that a bit. I mean, the campuses are amazing. Three beautiful campuses, actually four, really. Um, and talk, for those who haven't been to Pinewood and what it's like to walk the grounds. And you mentioned the community, just a little bit of an insight into just the culture and what it's like to work at Pinewood day to day.
Yeah. So I think, for me, I can kind of share a little bit about the student perspective from when I was a student here. But I mean, I think the biggest thing that, people feel when they walk onto campus is that everyone knows each other and everyone cares about each other. Those relationships that you're able to establish because we are, a close-knit community between students and teachers, administration. We all get to know each other and really support each other along all of the different paths that we're taking. And so, one kind of unique thing, if you actually look at our campus, our middle campus, which is our third through sixth grade, is actually my grandparents' old home. So our administration building is actually where my grandparents really started the school. So you do get kind of that sense of community stepping foot onto that campus and, having that personal kind of touch there. Visually is really cool to see. Kind of, it really is a community focused school with a close-knit community, those really strong relationships. And like I said, really, when I was here, I was encouraged to participate in everything. I was encouraged to spread my wings, stretch out of my comfort zone, try all these different things. And that's something that still continues to be a thing today. And it's not just for the students, but also just for teachers and for administration to really try new things, and really just kind of support one another along the journey.
So when we were talking to people, we heard that a lot, and I'd love to get a sense. You mentioned just a few minutes ago the impact the school had on you, and what a lot of people to talk to us about was how Pinewood's a place where somebody can be, the star athlete and also take a lead role in the musical. Public speaking is really important. Just sort of helping students find their voice. Just how do you sort of encapsulate that when you talk about the school's impact or what it is doing? For other students today.
Yeah, I think it really starts early on. I mean, starting in kindergarten, our students are on stage performing, they're singing. In first grade through seventh grade, and then even up to eighth grade, I mean, they're essentially doing performing arts. They're on the stage, they're performing in front of their peers and their colleagues. And so, really, that public speaking piece is a huge part of who we are as well. But just that's kind of integrated into the curriculum. But because that's part of the curriculum, we also have athletics. We have all these other supporting classes that really kind of form that whole child experience. So we really want them to be able to try all sorts of different things, have these different experiences to really understand what their passion is, what they're interested in. And kind of as you just mentioned, I felt that firsthand. I was on the basketball team and then I would rush to the musical and I'd have play practice after school. So I felt that firsthand. And it's really fun to see that currently right now when we're actually in musical scenes, seeing our athletics and all of these people kind of double dip into all the different boxes that, in other institutions, you might kind of have to pick one. But here at Pinewood, we allow our students to participate in multiple things and really kind of have that really awesome high school experience that I don't think they're going to get in most other places.
Well, speaking of multiple things, I think the role that we're talking about here and the person you're hoping to bring to Pinewood would be involved in multiple initiatives and really lanes, if you will. And, so there's a lot, I think, in front of the school in terms of marketing and communications and really connecting to the community. And also things that are in motion, both campaigns and admission strategies. So just talk for a minute or so about the priorities and what you're hoping somebody does bring to the table, but also where you see them kind of, being having opportunities to hit the ground running with things that are already in motion.
Yeah, I think I'm personally super excited about this new position because realistically, we haven't really gone headfirst into a marketing realm quite yet. We've been fortunate enough where we've been on the map, we've had families, we've had students, and we've really never kind of gone down the deep end of, this marketing effort. So this person coming in really, I think, can make this their own and really kind of grow into this experience. And so I'm super excited for someone to come in with the energy, the excitement, the experience, and the enthusiasm to really kind of create this whole new initiative that we're working toward. And just to kind of touch on, the things that are currently in motion, right? We've done a little bit of marketing here and there. We have a capital campaign on the horizon, so we're really starting to, completely renovate some of our campus facilities. Our admissions team, they're super excited to partner with this person to really try to focus and attract these mission aligned families. And so what we're excited for this person to do is to one, really get us on the map in our community, really to let people know who we are, kind of set the record straight of what Pinewood is, who we are. We're a nonprofit school, right? And really just putting us out there into the community that we're already a part of and just letting people know how amazing we are as a school. And so I'm excited for this person to not only kind of do all that marketing stuff, behind the scenes in the traditional marketing way, but also really to get out into the community to really be a part of the surrounding communities and talk with families and prospective students and really kind of be the best Pinewood ambassador that they can be.
And we talked to a lot of Pinewood ambassadors when we came, and what struck me is I think, as you described, there's a lot of love for the school and its rich history. I mean, it's been around for decades, since the 50s, really. So it's a well-established school. As you said, governed by a nonprofit board. It's an independent K-12 school. And it also, like, I think I don't want to speak for others, but like I feel like there's this, not humility, but sort of we don't want to overtalk our story, and yet in today's day and age, that's really important. Can you just give a little sense of like, how Pinewood is when it comes to like tooting its own horn, but also why this role is so important in today's, sort of more competitive marketplace, if you will.
Yeah, I think it's interesting you bring that up because what we hear a lot and what we've heard a lot in the past is Pinewood is just this hidden gem in Silicon Valley, and recently we've been like, no, we don't want to be hidden. We just want to be the gem. We want to be the best we can be in this community because our academic program is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the way our students succeed, where they're going to college, how they develop as a person starting in kindergarten is something that we really should be bragging about, right? I mean, I like to think that I'm a humble person, so I'm not out there in the streets, screaming and shouting our praises, but we've had different administrators come in over the last few years and they're just like, why aren't you screaming about how amazing you guys are as a school? And so really, I think we're looking for someone who can help guide those efforts and teach us how to shout our praises because I think we're absolutely worth it. I know our families think we're worth it. Our teachers think we're worth it. And so now we just need the community to really understand who we are and how amazing the opportunity can be to be a student here.
You were a student there, and let's just sort of wrap up on that one in terms of, what I mean, obviously Pinewood has a deep connection to your family and there's sort of that, sort of you will always, I think, be a, a Pinewood lifer, if you will. Um, But just when you step away from that and just thinking about how the school maybe transformed you in one way or an experience that you had that just feels like you wouldn't have gotten that anywhere else, or just something that made, you feel like I am who I am today because of my Pinewood experience, what comes to mind first, or what do you feel most proud about?
Yeah, I think for me, there's kind of two pieces there. You know, one of our guiding principles is that we want our students to be well-rounded. And so that was something that Pinewood helped me do. I got to be on student council. I got to participate in athletics. I got to be in the choir. I got to do all these different things. And that's something that I really appreciated and still do appreciate as a person, that I got to try so many different things and grow my talents and skill set in so many different ways. And that's something that I continue to like to do as an adult. And I just love that I get to do that for our current students. But the other one is really just developing confidence. I think here at Pinewood, I was transformed as a person to really be confident in who I am, to be a clear communicator, to be able to, present myself in a way where I feel confident, especially now as a school administrator. And so I think I owe that to a lot of the teachers here at Pinewood, and a number of them are actually still here today. And so it's really fun to kind of have that different working relationship with them. And I just see how much our students currently benefit from all of that. And that's just something I completely owe to Pinewood.
Well, I know many of your teachers. I used to work up the road at another school, and you have some amazing educators and amazing administrators, and it's just a wonderful community. And we look forward to helping you bring somebody outstanding to join the community and then help, market and communicate what Pinewood is doing to both the internal community as well as externally, and lead the charge there. So thank you so much for your time, Kyle. It's been great talking to you here and great working with you, and we look forward to working with you on the rest of the search.
Awesome. Thank you.